I'm assuming that was yes. All right, so the most important thing is get the brief right. The design brief helps designers understand his client's marketing and sales requirements as well as manage the relationships. The client brief should cover brand, manufacturing, and audience perception concerns. It should define all the brand issues such as category competition, design standards, and the audience factors that dictate a specific design treatment or direction. It must explain how the package progress will be managed through manufacturing, warehousing, distribution, and shelving process in the most cost-effective manner. So that would be a professional one. We don't need to call out manufacturing in this class. We're just designing. The design brief must articulate how the packaging will present the product's most saleable features and how it will attract consumers in the most convincing way. Think of packaging as advertising. It is the last advertising the customer will see before buying. And a lot of work goes into the design. So let's take a look at how we get there. And that is 100% true. If you can just apply your advertising thinking to a package, you might do better because people buy it because they're seeing it. So it's your last chance to like really get in their face and sell this product. So you want to do it in the most effective way. So we're going to start with branding. We are designers. We can't work unless a client has a problem, and it's our job to solve that problem in the best possible way. So to do that, let's start with their brand. What is their brand values? What is the personality? What makes your brand and this product different? We need to get to know the brand inside and out, whether it's a new brand or a repositioning. The first step is always to understand its ethos or what it stands for. This includes learning about its background, the assets it owns, what it currently offers the consumers, but also what it aims to offer in the future. And by understanding the business and brand goals, it allows us to truly elevate the opportunity that exists. So understanding Oreo's history here. The project brief should include information about the brand that includes history and what problem they would like you, the designer, to solve for them. Is it a brand looking to break into the market? Did a new store open nearby? Are their sales waning? Are they looking to expand or franchise? Do they need to introduce a new product? Is it a rebrand? We would treat all of these a little bit differently, but we need to know where we should start. So we should look at the competition. Who's the competition and what works well? Almost everything already exists. So what are your competitors' strengths? What are their weaknesses? And where can your brand stand out? So that's why in our design brief, we're going to look at some competition and how we can fit into the marketplace. Every brand should aim to own or occupy a distinct place in the market, but to define what this should be, we need to truly understand the competitive landscape. We need to know how and where each of the brand competitors position itself. This will enable us to identify where the gaps and opportunities lie. Like to me, this is a really high-end chocolate. It probably costs $5 a bar or more, right? Thinking 5 to 9. It's a little different than this. So from a packaging perspective, this involves evaluating the landscape from a shelf and merchandising context. Understanding the environment and any restrictions that exist will help ensure a better final solution. So how do you think that this package would look propped up against all these Hershey's? Would it stand out in a good way, in a bad way? Would it make you want it? Would you be considering the price immediately when you see it? So think about that kind of stuff. We need to look at where our product will be placed. And then the demographics, designed for the customer, not for yourself. Ideally, a package design contributes to a positive interaction between the product and its consumer. Designers must understand the demographics of their audience, which provides information on race, age, income, disabilities, mobility, education attainment, home ownership, employment status, and even geographic location. So when we're thinking about our customer, we gotta think about every little detail about them. Really picture your ideal customer and who they are and what they like. Demographic information guides a designer's decision on packaging size, cost, functionality, information, and creative direction. Yeah, here's two crackers, exactly the same thing. What appeals to you? Which one would you buy? Demographics are the first place to look when trying to anticipate tomorrow's packaging needs. Demographic information is derived from a country's national census. It will include information previously mentioned like gender, occupation, residence, etc. But also socioeconomic status, geographic factors, and religious factors. One of the major demographic trends that contemporary package designers must consider is an aging audience. In the 1970s, the population was mostly under 30 years old, but by the year 2000, most of the population was older than 30, with the highest percentage of retirees ever. There's no question that this demographic trend will heavily influence future package design. So what that means is packages are going to need to be easier to open. The contrast is going to have to be a little higher. The type is going to have to be bigger, easier to read, especially if that's for your older audience segment. If you're, still marketing to teens, then that's another thing you could consider. All that stuff could be more fun. The designer should use broad demographic categories with a grain of salt. They're useful, but not always enough to identify a group with common motivational triggers. For instance, not all 26-year-olds are interested or motivated by Starbucks. Not all. Okay, psychographics. Design for the customer, not for yourself. Again, to facilitate this interaction between a product and the consumer, the successful package designer will understand the audience's personality, values, attitudes, interests, and lifestyle. So in other words, the psychographics. Psychographics help a designer visualize and empathize with the consumer they are designing for so that they can create an emotional connection between the product and the buyer. This can be done through type or color or even design elements, but all of these choices should be made with your ideal customer in mind. You should feel something when you're looking at all of this. The choices we make as designers are not arbitrary. Everything we do is based around understanding and empathizing with our ideal customer and understanding our client's needs. These amazing logos are designed by Herb Lubalin, if you were curious. Psychographics consider how groups of people are motivated and how they behave. Unlike demographics, it's an imprecise study, but it helps marketers relate to a consumer group and anticipate their needs. Examples of psychographic profiles include the following. We have the belonger. This is a person of modest ambition who lives in an average town. They seek acceptance. They go with the crowd. And then we have achievers. This is a serious business person. Power and physical wealth are what makes this person perform day in and day out. We have the emulator. This person's primary goal is to attract the opposite sex or gain approval from his or her peers. Emulators will buy flashy foreign imports or a local copy because they can't afford a luxury car, as long as it looks expensive, fast, and attracts attention. Then we have saviors. These are socially conscious type A people. The person is not concerned with the word of achievement. He or she cares about family, community, and how his or her actions affect society. These people want to make the world a better place. And then there's socially conscious type B or doomsdayers. This person has given up on humanity as a whole. Such people have created their own small communities. 1 second, sorry. Pressure one? Okay. Okay, where were we at? Doomsdayers. Sorry about that. Integrators. This person has, oops, there we go. Integrators. This person has found a way to achieve the work-life balance. They may have some expensive brands, but they prefer items that have meaning or give back without losing quality. And survivalists, our last category. They're struggling. They are most likely just out of school and trying to make their way in the world. They are just living paycheck to paycheck. Okay. The world's greatest brands are masters of psychographic segmentation. Patagonia understands environmentally conscious outdoor enthusiasts and trekkers. So they really understand their audience. These are just examples of places that really understand their audience. Harley Davidson taps into the psyche of riders, including image, attitude, and bucket list trips. So their advertising really hits that spot. TikTok understands youth and the interest in quick content and micro doses of serotonin. So they got that under wrap. Comic-Con connects with fans by making them part of their favorite show and not just watching it. They get to be part of the action. That's why people dress up when they go there. They really touch their audience. So what's important for you to remember that a customer is not one-dimensional. So consider all of the areas of data. So we want to consider demographic data, who your customer data by. Psychographic data, that's me again. Psychographic data, why they buy specific products over others, and behavioral data, how they travel through their journey, their customer journey. When you have all that data, the insights it reveals, and make sure that it's consistent with your branding across your marketing channels. So when you have all that information, it should make it much easier for you to design to that targeted audience.